Fooray and Chamba, the two hosts. If I may, I'm thinking that you chose the best thing. If you like them nerd shows and all of these movies. What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat.
What up, Chipper Chaps? This is Chipper Chap Chat, episode 164. I'm Fooray.
I'm Chamba.
I'm going to talk about a whole list of nerdy stuff today.
Yep.
Which I can't see.
Which you can't see, yes. That's fine.
First
on the list is the trailer, the series trailer for CW's Gotham Knights. Is up.
Oh, man.
Now, we saw the image before. We had the brief outline of what it's going to be about, but now we've seen the trailer. What are your thoughts?
I don't like... Okay, so CW shows have never been, like, the jam for me. I've watched Arrow the first couple seasons and enjoyed them enough to, like, watch those, but I didn't continue after that. And kind of the same with Flash. I watched that maybe till, like, season 3 when they got to the third guy or whatever, and I was like, okay, I get the formula now. I think I'm over it. This, though, whole new level of bad. This looks like they just said, fuck the DC canon. Who gives a shit? Have you seen Riverdale? That's what the kids want.
Dude.
Do Riverdale.
That's really it, isn't it? It's like, hey, I can see CW doing Scooby-Doo. Oh, wait. Somebody else is doing Scooby-Doo. But I could see CW still doing a Scooby-Doo and go, you know the property, you know the characters, forget about all of that. We're using the names.
You know what it makes me glad I never saw?
What?
Whatever the fuck the CW Powerpuff Girls was going to be.
Oh, well, they canceled that, right?
Yeah. Because one of the chicks left.
And
But
this got made. How did this one get made?
No idea, because they're just making shit up and, like, pulling from anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you other than keeping the names, which I don't even get the point of.
Nope.
Because they're not being true to any of it, and they're making shit up. Like, Batman has some new adopted son.
Oh, and yeah, and the teaser. This is not a spoiler for the show. It's pretty much the premise of that trailer. Batman's dead. And now everyone knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. That's the story, guys.
Which is kind of the same story as what the Gotham Knights game is.
Right.
Except for this is, for some reason, a CW show.
Let's make it all the more confusing. Let's release a Gotham Knights game that's not linked at all to this Gotham Knights show that involves roughly the same characters, right? Maybe? I don't know.
Like, so far that I can tell, none of the same characters. The only thing that is the same is
the name.
Batman is dead.
Wow. Great.
Yeah.
Great. This but yeah, that teaser gave no more interest to me for it.
No, it made it far worse than even the text description could have made it painted out to be. Yeah, it looked really, really trash.
And for the actors, it could be like, oh yeah, I get to finally be, I'm going to be one of the leads, one of the main characters in the show. But then do you even want to attach this to your name if it's not going to... I don't even know. I kind of feel sorry for them in a way. It's like,
this will be a footnote in their careers, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
It'll be a trivia question.
It's like, yeah, name that show that got cancelled after airing the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's really it's scary how this makes Gotham look great in comparison.
Right. I don't know, but
yeah,
that is what CW's doing. But
yeah, pretty terrible.
DC. Let's continue with DC. They released the trailer. Was it a teaser or trailer?
It was an actual trailer.
The trailer for Black Adam. AKA The Rock as an anti-hero / superhero. I don't know.
Because he kills people. That was the big takeaway.
Because he's a hero that kills.
Yeah.
Great.
So...
what are your thoughts on the trailer?
It looks like I like the scene where he slaps the plane.
That was cool. He slaps a plane.
Uh, and I liked the little hinted at super speed thing where he catches the rocket. And then I guess the origin story for why he has no cape is going to be that he caught that rocket and it got blown off him.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like in the little trailer. As he shows up in his cloak thing, and then he catches a rocket, and a cape goes flying in the air,
Yep.
or it looked like anyway. But they got to get to the point where he's just flying around in the suit, because
It also
that's the
just looks weird. All
difference.
right, because he's got nothing blowing in the wind. So when he's just flying, he just looks like he's kind of
Right.
standing there, and that's kind of a problem, I reckon.
Yeah, I think they need to maybe add like even just kind of wind fucking warble around him or something.
Something.
You know, something to
Something.
make it look like he's going really fast.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
Because
hard.
it's hard to tell. But that's part of the design. They gotta adjust. Like they're gonna have to deal with that in Invincible when they make that in live action.
Right, but at least he has hair on
Um,
his head.
True, he does have some
Like, The
hair.
Rock doesn't have
That does
hair.
help.
He's bald completely. So it's like he could just have his arms stretched out and you wouldn't know whether or not he's flying super speed or just kind of floating there with his arms moving forward. With his arms forward, you know what I mean?
So what is the fix? Do you give him a sash?
I was going to say a sash, a scarf, something.
Something.
Something, dude. Anything to indicate that he's moving forward. Anything. They didn't need to blow his cape off completely. Have like,
I mean, but
have
I
it
think they were
tattered.
going for the comic book look.
I guess. But again, the
But
comic,
then
he's got hair.
Black Adam sort of he does, but Black Adam's hair is always like pretty short and slicked.
It is, but you could still have like even when he's moving fast, just even the slight bit of movement is enough. He's got no hair. It's
Yeah.
not like his eyebrow is gonna fucking start shifting or his eyelashes. You get to see it.
And they're not gonna have like his cheeks and shit blown
Yeah,
around like
exactly, because he's the Rock. He's going super
right.
fast, and you see like his cheeks just like flopping in the wind. Yeah, I don't think they'll do
Um,
that. I don't think they'll do that.
but I don't know, it looked cool. I like every time I see Doctor Fate, I'm like that looks cool.
Yes, he looks cool. You see a
Uh,
close up of his helmet, it's like not smooth. There's like a weird pattern on both sides in a way. I don't have an image up here, but
right, they have to make it look. They have to make it look
it looks cool.
earthly. What's the way to describe it? Like it exists in the world. Like
Yeah,
this is an ancient
yeah.
thing, not just like a gold smooth sphere or whatever. I get why they would make those changes. It was interesting to see him like do some sort of almost Doctor Strangey looking like glassy kind of effect.
Mm-hmm.
The one time you see Doctor Fate do something in the trailer, but
This trailer
uh,
gave me a like, hey, this looks like MCU, DCEU from the past 10 years. It doesn't really look like
hmm,
it's doing anything. It's almost like this feels late.
interesting.
That's what I'm
Uh,
getting. I think it's going to be fine.
yeah.
I don't know if
I
I
am
care.
I'm curious to see how well it because they only showed two instances, but I'm curious to see how well it works the scenes where the Rock it has the small body.
Oh, right.
Because they show a couple scenes where you don't pay that much attention to it because of how they have the shots framed, and he's like one of them he's holding his dead son or whatever. But all the scenes that take place in the past when he is just a slave,
He's got.
he's got a small body. Like he's still in good shape, but he's not like the Rock shape.
He's not the big one. Yeah. It's not. It's
Yeah,
also
they
not.
made
It's also not
it
small Steve Rogers size.
right. Exactly. He just looks like he's someone who's had to work his life or
Right.
whatever, but he's not a huge bodybuilder.
Right.
Um, so I'm curious to see how that's going to work when you're looking at it on screen because it's just going to be weird to see The Rock with a small body.
Mm-hmm. Does this also fit with
Um,
Shazam or no? Eventually.
yeah, because I think that supposedly there's going to be some sort of third Shazam movie
Where it's
where
Shazam versus Black
Black
Adam.
yeah, exactly.
All
And
right.
and supposedly the rumor mill version of it is that that's when they would figure out a way to also include Superman again, or Henry Cavill's Superman.
Great. I think
But
that's one thing they should always try to make work is Henry Cavill's Superman.
I mean,
uh,
they've not really attempted it much
lately. I think that's
since
to be fair,
since
I think
the
it's almost like stay quiet for now until you've got something that you know is gonna work.
I mean, their last Superman announcement thing was that the Michael B. Jordan movie was happening.
Ugh,
Um,
sure. Where his name
and
is
they,
Clark
they
Kent.
only, but it's not. They said he was playing
Oh, was he
the
playing the other one?
random
Oh, that's
chocolate
good.
Superman.
That's good. All right.
Um,
Well, there's
so
that. Yeah.
yeah,
That could work, but you know, we'll see. I don't know. This trailer's fine. I don't even know when it's supposed to come out. What, next year or something?
October.
What, this year? What? All right.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
believe October.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it in the cinema.
Yeah, I mean it looks good enough for that to me. It doesn't
Yeah.
look cheesy or
No, no,
anything.
no, no. And it could be quite fun.
Yeah, it could be cool. It's the best it could have looked
Yes.
for a superhero movie with The Rock in it,
Right.
in my opinion.
To be fair, if you watch like any of the Fast and Furious and whatever, it's essentially superhero movies. So,
Right. It's G.I. Joe's
right. But this
at
one's
least.
actually like, oh, he's got superpowers because he's superpowered. He's not just a really powerful human being, which makes no sense.
Exactly.
Okay. Next
Yeah.
up, we're moving over to the MCU side and the cast. What is his name? Tenoch Huerta
Tenoch
as
Huerta.
as
I have not
Namor.
seen as Namor the Submariner. I've not seen anything that he's in, I don't think.
Same here.
I don't watch Narcos or any of that, so he's not familiar to me.
No, but what?
Uh, but I heard that it's supposed to be going a Mayan
Yes,
route.
which is cool. Like
Could be cool.
it's not what I expected, but it's also that could be a good thing. Like when you're not just doing exactly what. Because honestly, with the Submariner, I don't know I didn't know what to expect. That they could have gone like obviously DC's already gone Polynesian. Like we thought anyways they were gonna go Polynesian, but they didn't.
Right.
They didn't go all the way with that.
Not with the entire Atlanteans, but
Yeah,
they did with
him.
Aquaman himself.
It's just weird though, because it's like, oh, cool. They're gonna the Atlanteans are gonna be all Polynesians. Like, nope, they're all white. He's just not. I was like, all right, I guess.
Yeah, he's the adopted one.
Yeah. Whereas this one, I wonder if all of them. I guess if they're going Mayan, that's cool.
Yeah, it would imply that they're gonna be hiring a lot of Hispanic actors,
Right on.
which yeah is neat.
Yeah.
I do think it makes it distinct from the Aquaman stuff design
Yes.
wise. It's a
Yes.
different design language than they've toyed with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know for a while the big rumor was that they were gonna go Asian and that they were looking at I think it was Daniel Kim.
Okay. That one would have worked.
Uh, yeah, and I think he's a bit old for it now, but
Yeah.
yeah, I could imagine it working at some point. But yeah, I don't know this guy at all.
Nope. Which is kind
You
of good.
know,
It's like a
his
blank
look
slate.
doesn't offend me.
It's a blank
Yeah,
slate.
exactly.
I don't know what it's gonna like. Obviously, on the image, I've got a side by side of what Namor looks like in the books at one point in time, and
Yeah.
the actor looks kind of nothing like it. But that's why I'm really curious to see what look they'll actually go for with the character in the MCU. And because his first
Oh
appearance
man,
is
I
going to
wish I
be in what's it called Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda. Yeah, Wakanda forever. Yep.
Like that's right on. Like cool. Like is it gonna be Wakanda
Yeah.
versus you know where's he from? Where's
Atlantis. I
yeah?
think it's supposed to be
So
Atlanteans.
Atlantis
But
versus Wakandans basically.
And also, I don't know if it will be a thing in the movie version, but I know in the comics there's like Atlanteans that look like that skin tone, but then there's also blue ones
Yeah.
with like tribal kind of markings all over them. I don't remember exactly like how they decide which ones are blue and which ones are not, but I think like Namor has like a sister or something that's blue.
Maybe in this, instead of them being blue, it'll just be the ones they look like the rest of them. They just have those blue markings, maybe. Because the Mayan
Yes, yeah.
had those markings, you know,
hmm
the patterning and stuff. Maybe it's like something that would say light up in the water. I don't know.
That's true. That could be cool if they do a bunch of like whatever that's called, bioluminescence.
That would be sick, actually.
Yeah, that could
This
be
could
really
be
dope.
really cool. There's a potential for this to be really cool.
I wish we had that other picture
Right, I couldn't
of
find it.
the blurry concept
Yeah,
art, but they put out one piece of concept art, I think intentionally leaking it that blurred because
it
why the
was
fuck would
blurred.
this exist
Right,
otherwise?
yeah.
Um, and so I think they intentionally leaked that bit of concept art showing the costume, and it looks like they're staying pretty true to it. They're figuring out a way to get those little feet wings on there.
I wonder if it's going to be part of
Kind of the
armor or if it's like coming from his actual ankles. What do you reckon it's going to be?
in the blurry image, it kind of looks like it because he has some sort of shin armor on, so
Right,
it could be part of that, but it also could just be the actual like organic wings sticking out of the side of the armor. But
right.
that sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it's this could
I don't
look
think I would like to
it
endanger
could
my
look
feet wings.
goofy. It could look so goofy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah, and you'd have to explain why he's the only one that has that and shit.
because
I don't
he is
know,
the
but
only
he
one
can
that has
also
it, right?
fly. From my memory, at least, I don't
That's
remember
what I'm
any of
trying to
the other
remember. I'm like,
Atlanteans
do they
having
all
feet
have
wings.
it? Yeah. That's also really weird. Just
Yeah,
ankle wings. I don't know. That's bizarre.
yeah,
I'm curious to see what he's gonna end up looking like in the movie, and I'm sure, like, who knows? We might even get like, because that's the next film, that one after Thor, right?
yeah. I think that one's supposed to come out this year somehow.
Yeah, I doubt we'll get a teaser in Thor. That'd be fucking awesome, but uh,
It'd be dope, but I imagine we'll see it right after Thor,
right,
like after it's been like a week or something.
yeah. But even just a teaser, you know, like you don't even
Right.
reveal what it's about. It literally is straight teaser. But yeah, I'm really curious to see where this is going. Um, it could be good, or
Hope he
just
gets the pointy ears. Hope he
right.
gets the feet
Yeah, I
wings.
wonder if they'll do something with his eyebrows.
And they're putting him in just in time for the Fantastic Four stuff because one of the only things I know about Submariner is he's always trying to smash Sue
Yeah,
Richards.
always, always. He never gets it, but he's always trying his best, you know. And I'm
Yeah.
sure in one of the stories he got it, but it's like, fucking, how many? They've
I
written
hope they
so many
work that bit
stories.
in.
Yeah, he's always trying to get in there,
Yeah.
and like, cause he's, you know, it's got that Latin flavor, right? It's like, you know,
Wow. He's
why
looking
not?
for some surf and turf.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, episode was it 4 of Obi-Wan.
Okay, yeah. This
Um,
one's gonna be rocky for me to remember what the hell happened. It
yes,
seemed like I don't know how they managed it in 6 episodes, but this one felt like a filler.
right? It was weird. Because essentially all that happened in this episode was Obi-Wan and crew got Leia back.
Yeah.
That's essentially it.
At the cost of one random person that we met under Ice Cube Jr.
Yeah. Also, yeah,
and
Ice Cube Jr.'s in here, and he somehow fits in the world really well.
yeah, he didn't. I
he didn't
mean,
he
the
didn't
only thing
stand out.
that took me in and out of it, it didn't stand out to me as much. Like he made more sense to me than like fucking Flea
Oh
or
yeah, that
Kumail
one.
Nanjiani.
Yeah, those two stood out.
Right,
The
like
only
he's just playing some random
yeah,
dude that exists. He felt like his own bit of the world.
It looks like he fit in the world. The only thing I was like, oh, that's Ice Cube's son. That's literally it. But not after that, I was like, oh, he's just a character in here.
All right, and seeing the chick from Pin 15
Yeah.
was distracting for me.
Cause she,
Once I was like, why do I
yep.
recognize this chick's face? Once I figured it out, then she was distracting for me,
I
and it
figured,
was only tough because her stuff is supposed to be pretty emotionally charged.
right. But I'm like, you're funny, and also you look way old right now. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
She is old,
I
though. She
know, but
plays.
she looks.
That's why
I
it's
get it.
funny.
But I saw another movie on Netflix where she was in. I was like, that film is what, maybe 2 years old? And you look way younger there than you do right here. I don't know what happened.
I think it's the lighting and
It
the
could
fact that
be. It could just be the
there's no
makeup.
hair involved.
Yeah,
It's just her with a hat on. You're just looking at her face.
I guess.
And her face while she looks sad.
Yeah, that's true. She wasn't
So,
making some weird jokes and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, that's essentially. I mean,
Uh,
we saw Vader in this episode
there's some.
again.
Yeah, we'll have to make sure and put the little spoiler thing up for this as well, since we're just throwing everything out there.
Oh
But,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'll on the heading, I'll write spoiler discussion on
There you go. Nailed
Obi-Wan,
it.
and we're always gonna whenever we talk about episodes, it's gonna be all over the place and spoilery. So
Maybe we need a spoiler stamp that we can put on these
yeah,
slides.
I'll do it for next time.
There we go.
I'll do it for next time.
So yeah, then they find a big old Tupperware full of Jedis.
Oh yeah, dude, that was weird. Now, I
Yeah.
had a question. I
Um,
was asking a couple of Star Wars people who know a bit more about Star Wars, and I don't know if they had an answer for me because they're also a little
mhm.
unsure as well. I'm like, so are they dead, or are they kind of carbonite style frozen, where they're still alive inside there
Mm,
and just frozen?
mm.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like,
Interesting.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's a fair question, right? Like,
Yeah. Imagine that they're. I mean, at very least, their bodies are being preserved.
right, that's what I mean. Like, if they're frozen, can you unfreeze that? Or are they just like straight up, this is trophies? You can see them, they're dead. No.
Right.
So I wasn't sure about that. That's I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe
That's a
like
good question.
can they be revived? Like, can you like take them out of that? Because I was like, oh, it's like Jurassic Park, you know? They're in Ember. Can you like
Oh,
are they
yeah. That's a
preserved?
good idea too.
Are they preserved?
I
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I wonder if they're being like siphoned
Yeah,
for their
Jedi. Yeah,
metachlorians so they can make the fucking Snokus or
dude.
whatever his
There
name
we
was.
go. See, like, are midichlorians still a thing in Star Wars, or is that kind of like, yeah, we
I mean
tried it,
they
it's not good. Let's not mention it ever again. You know?
I don't know if they've mentioned it again since then. I didn't Luke say something about it to little Yoda?
I don't know.
I
I don't
don't remember.
remember. But
I don't think they've ever retconned and said it's not a
right,
thing.
but they've
I think they
also
just
I don't
don't
know if
really
they've ever
talk
yeah,
about it.
it's like let's not say it again.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those buzzwords that they are afraid pisses people off. Like probably never going to mention Jar Jar again until
Right.
like that's retroactively cool. Like, no, we all love Jar Jar
Remember
because
Jar
everybody
Jar?
shat on it.
Remember he was funny? Like I
We used
mean,
to love Jar Jar.
yeah. I mean, we know George Lucas loved Jar Jar, and
Yeah,
that's why no
for
one
some
said
reason.
no. You know, it's like you can't
Right.
tell George Lucas that his character that he loves and thinks is funny isn't actually funny and is sort of racist. Like,
Only sort of.
so yeah, sort of. It's again, it's we're trying to soften it for George, but I don't know. These Kenobi, I'm finishing it off because it's there. I don't know if I'm like I know people, dude. I know people who are legit loving this series, and I'm like, I wish I can.
Right.
I wish I could see it from your lens.
Yeah, I kind of wish that I had just watched the recap and then like the first 30 minutes or maybe the first episode of Kenobi
Right.
and then just stopped there and this might have been like a really dope show in my brain.
people thought that the first episode was sort of the weakest. And I'm like,
Really?
yeah, I
I
know
don't
people who
agree with
do.
that at all.
I know people who say it got better. And I'm like, wow, I guess our tastes are completely different.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't I don't get that at all.
And then
But interesting. I'm
I was
glad to know
like,
there's people out there.
and I was like, wait, so you like the rooftop parkour and the chasing a kid scenes? Obviously,
Don't
they
even
don't have
remind me
anything
of
to
the
say
kid
about
thing.
that because I'm like, yeah, because that's fucking weird. Like,
Right.
the chasing the kid, I'm like, this ain't Home Alone. This is weird.
Yeah, I super hated that. But yeah, so then they get to the end. They got a robot. They turn the robot into a bad robot. Now
Yep.
her little fucking battery's not included.
Dude,
Droid
straight up
is
batteries not
bad.
included. Straight up. Oh, I was like, that's tight, but also that's just straight up batteries not included.
Yeah, so now that thing
That thing is evil
it's like
now.
batteries not included with ladybug wings, and then
Yep.
they were like, no, that's it.
I wonder.
So yeah, that
I
thing's got a
wonder.
red eyeball.
It's got a red
Yeah.
eyeball now, but I wonder if it's like just as it's like it realizes later that it's betraying that and then it's gonna sacrifice itself to save Leia.
Wow.
Yep. Because you gotta get
What an
emotionally.
arc this invincible droid has
Yeah,
had.
you gotta have an emotion. Again, it's batteries not included. You feel for the robot. They got
Oh,
emotions,
man,
even though they got eyeballs. You know, this one's got a red eyeball. I don't know, man. We got 2 episodes left. I feel like it's not even going to end properly, and that they're going to do a season 2. But I don't know. Like, I'll watch it,
Oh,
I
you
guess.
really think? Like, how
Yeah,
would they do it where they can do more of this?
it's got to be about Luke then, because this one was about Leia. The other one's going to be about Luke.
Oh, Lord.
Yep, exactly. Money,
I, I would have liked it more if it was literally. I mean, we already talked about, I think, on the last one, how it should have just been like Seven Samurai,
dude,
just save a town,
dude.
go on some missions like the Mandalorian, but without the
Yes.
baby. We don't need baby
Oh,
Leia.
that would have been the greatest. That would have been so great. You still haven't watched
Yeah.
you haven't finished Visions yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, try to.
I still have to,
That's
yeah.
all good. But yeah, like Obi-Wan, I'll finish off because there's 2 episodes left. This feels like it's dragging, even though it's weird. Like you said it earlier, where it's like this feels like a filler. Like how? We're
Yeah.
only 6 episodes,
hmm
and one episode feels like a filler. That's bizarre.
Like, why? Yeah, how do you manage that? You should have no time.
I wonder if the next episode is just going to focus on like all Darth Vader. They'll have an episode where it's just all Darth Vader. Because that's what people
I'm
seem to
hoping
love.
so because they've still got to justify bringing Hayden Christensen back,
Totally.
and
We
until that
barely.
happens,
Yes.
I'm just gonna be like, why? You could have
Yep.
had literally anyone like you did for fucking Rogue One or
Yep.
whatever. But
And
yeah,
that's why
so
I feel
yeah,
like we're gonna
we'll
get a
see.
season 2, or he's gonna like Hayden Christensen's gonna appear in like the Ahsoka show or some shit. He's got.
I really, I don't
I
know,
think he
man.
is. I
Fuck.
think he is, dude. He's got to appear in that because you have to remember who Ahsoka is.
I mean, it would definitely make sense. It's just why would it be as Hayden Christensen? What would be the point of bringing him back? Vader, sure.
Maybe some he's gonna unmask and shit and actually show his face. And there's gonna be some flashbacks, like almost like recreating scenes from the animated version, but in live action. That would be fucking cool in a
Also,
way.
what do they do? What do they do with Vader once they can't have James Earl Jones anymore?
I read somewhere, I don't know if this is true, but I think it was this episode or the previous episode. May have been this episode, actually, where
Uh,
James Earl Jones didn't actually record any audio for it, but they still had Vader speaking. Like they got to a point where they can kind of sort of recreate his voice without actually getting him to do it. And I was like, what?
that's scary. But I did wonder like if they would do that with him specifically because I know that they like a few people have done the thing where you can turn your own voice into like
Yes.
an AI
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And if they have him read with enough inflections,
Mm-hmm.
they could kind of have Hayden do the acting and
That's
then
what I
just
mean.
put the
Yes.
voice filter on top of him
Yeah.
of like here's a that
It's
because you know what would make me not surprised about that
what?
is the episode. I'm not sure. Maybe it was this. I don't remember if maybe it was the third episode, the one where they yeah Kenobi and Vader actually meet and talk.
Oh yeah. I think it was
Uh,
3.
he has one line where I was like, either James Earl Jones heard Hayden Christensen deliver this line first and then
Mm-hmm.
read it like him, or they did something weird like that where they filtered his voice through
Right.
him. And it's the one where he says what have you become? And Vader says, I am what you made me.
Yes. It sounded like Hayden Christensen,
But
but
the way he said
yes.
it, it sounded like his delivery. It
Yes.
sounded like his
Yep.
delivery full on, and
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't figure out how that was done. Like, did he have him read that line first and then copy it?
I think it's cool though because it's like, oh, like it is Vader, but we are still hearing Anakin.
Yeah, that was crazy to me. So if they did that with like a filter thing, props to them because that at least with that one line, it fully read to me that it was
Mm-hmm.
his delivery.
And in a way,
Um,
when you think about it, it's just audible deepfake,
right, exactly,
which
exactly.
at this point, I
Is
mean,
still terrifying.
technology is scary as it is. So this is, I'm glad it's just entertainment.
Yeah, actors are going to be selling their likeness rights in a
Oh
completely
yeah.
different way going forward.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be bizarre. It's gonna be bizarre. Like I heard that there was that freaking Bruce Willis commercial that was not him. It was just a entire it's a Russian commercial where Bruce Willis signed off his likeness and it was just deep fake, but it was Bruce Willis.
That's insane.
Yep.
I saw some trailer for a new movie he's got coming out, where he's like a hitman or something that either is in control of some other hitman, but it's got like some random people in it where I was like, this might be good. I think it's got I keep wanting to say Mickey Rourke, dude who played Yondu, Michael Rooker.
Michael Rook.
Uh,
Okay.
it's got him and a couple other dudes, but there's a couple lines of dialogue where Bruce Willis speaks,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, that's not Bruce Willis's voice. I don't know if they got someone to dub over him or something,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just very distinctly not his voice, and I'm like, why would you do that for Bruce Willis's voice? Unless you just couldn't hear him, like dialogue was like the
Right.
he couldn't do ADR for himself or something because of whatever's going on with him. I'm not sure, but for some reason he's like dubbed over it, like the haywire chick.
To be fair, you can actually I'm sure there are talented voice actors there that can do voice alikes for Bruce
But this
Willis.
one is not to
Right, yeah,
not
yeah.
to sound like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
But that's
somebody
I
else
mean
completely.
if they had to
Yeah,
get
get
to
an
that point, they
impersonator.
could absolutely get an impersonator.
Right.
Absolutely. And they probably, maybe down
Bruce.
the road. It's unfortunate what's happening with Bruce Willis, but yeah. It's
They
what is
do
it?
it all the time in the MCU.
Mhm.
Like the fucking they do it for Red Skull now with the
Oh, and
the
he's
guy
great.
from yeah, I can't remember his name, but he does the Red Skull one. He
Mhm.
does the Ultron anything for the Ultron character,
Yep.
Spader.
Yep.
Um,
That's like one dude
so
just playing all of them. It's like, "Hey, why not? He's an
yeah, they're
actor."
like anybody we got, bring them in.
Yeah, he's an
Also, what do you
actor.
think they're gonna do? What do you think they're gonna? I don't know if this is on our show notes. I don't think it was, but they supposedly they announced a Thunderbolts movie.
Oh, yeah. We didn't write this in. Um It's supposedly gonna happen. I think it's great. I think it's cool because we kind of briefly talked about this a while ago. I think we mentioned it where it's
Right.
like I mean, they're essentially building up for the Thunderbolts because
That's what it felt like. But
you
how do
can't
you
have
do it
General
without
Ross.
exactly? How do you do it without General
You
Ross?
can't. You have to change it now. That's
But
the
is it
part that you
still
have
the
to change.
Thunderbolts?
Maybe it's just the name.
And like maybe they name it after him or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. after it's the only way to do it.
Because what's her face has to be running it, Dreyfus.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, she's in charge without a doubt, without a doubt,
Huh.
dude.
I'm really curious how they handle
All I
that
know is
bit.
give me Citizen V, baby.
Yeah, I want to see the live action design. Also, have you seen any of Letterkenny?
No, I've heard about it.
Okay, the my roommates love it,
Yeah, I
and
believe it.
it's like set in Canada or
It's
something.
yep. It seems like right up their alley.
Well, suppose like the main character of that got his own spin-off about his character going off to play hockey or something.
Okay.
And
Supposedly he's gonna.
that guy
Uh huh.
is, I guess, one of the like front runners to be Wolverine.
Okay, I'll need to look into this.
So maybe we'll talk about that one on the next one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. We should write it.
But he's
I'll write it
actually
into the notes.
Canadian, so that could be
Oh, that's good.
something.
Is he tall?
He's 5'10", so he's
That's
not
fine.
huge,
That's
but he's
better than
not
Hugh
he's not
Jackman.
short either. Exactly.
That's better than Hugh Jackman. Like again, not
Yeah, he's
knocking Hugh
half a
Jackman,
foot
but
taller, shorter than him.
he was too tall.
Yeah, he's 6'3". He's a full foot taller than Wolverine's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be. But yeah, so that was just something I saw that was raining. I couldn't remember his name, but for some reason I was like, you know what? Jeff probably watches Letterkenny. He'll know
No,
who I'm talking
I
about.
haven't watched. I haven't caught it yet, but I have been told about it many times before.
Yeah, I feel like that will be another one that you absorb in the background pretty
Most
soon.
likely, it'll just assimilate into me, to my brain.
And what's our last thing?
Continuing with the MCU, the first episode of Ms. Marvel dropped last week.
Okay. So this one was cool. I really liked it. What did you
I
think of this?
really did like it. I like the intro part. I was getting like Scott Pilgrimish vibes,
Yeah,
which I'm
there's
like,
definitely
cool.
some Scott Pilgrim vibes. It sort of reminds me of I was telling you kind of before we started recording. It reminds me of Turning Red.
Yes, yeah, very much so. Which I loved. I loved that movie a lot.
Yeah, the movie was really good, and
Yeah,
it kind of has that like Scott Pilgrim meets Turning Red kind
yeah.
of
Which
thing.
like that's right up my alley.
Yeah, I really like the direction. I like how
Mm-hmm.
they work in her doodles and shit in the background.
Which also
Uh,
it's good because if her abilities are sort of like, because I mean they shifted her abilities. It's not like Mr. Fantastics anymore. It's not like Plastic Man. It's more of that.
they did show her stretch out and grab something with her
Yes,
ability,
with her abilities. So it's
but
you're still maintaining that, but it's the whole imagination thing, almost Green Lantern ish. But
right.
that's good that they're
And right
showing.
now I'm curious. I'm curious if that is what her abilities will look like by the end of the show.
Right, yeah, yeah. It could just be the start of it, and that's
Right.
cool. It's good though that it shows that she does have a strong sense of imagination. So
Yes.
it's gonna definite and a creativity. So it's gonna assist in her abilities, for sure.
She's she's got a YouTube channel with
Mm-hmm.
2 subscribers.
Nice, nice,
uh and which is only appalling to me because the quality of her little
dude.
animations and stuff,
I
she would
was
be
gonna
huge on
say,
YouTube.
yeah, her clips. I'm like, all the work she's putting into it. That is quality
Yeah, she'd
things,
be a
and
big
you've
deal.
got 2 viewers. I know that's the part to me that's actually unbelievable.
Yeah, there's got to be more people searching out Avengers stuff, especially if they're getting their first
Avengers Con.
Avengers Con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Avengers Con part
Which
was weird
only
because I'm like, it's at nighttime, and I'm like, is that because it's opening night?
right, maybe. That is kind of bizarre. It was
That part was weird to
also
me.
strange to me that it takes place at Camp Lehigh, which was like where Cap trained, but also that they blew up in
Right.
Winter Soldier.
Maybe they fixed it up.
Um, yeah, I guess they did. And also there was some stuff that was questionable to me on like how even people would know. Like I get it that the Avengers have been around for now like 15 years in the Marvel universe,
Mm-hmm.
but it's strange to me that they would know like who the fuck Drax is, or
Yes.
fucking there was someone cosplaying Gamora. Like
Yes.
any of the Guardians, pretty much, they showed up for one battle and then
I
they were
know.
gone. You might
And
have vague, blurry pictures of some of those
it's also
people.
not it's also like it's not like the actual final battle was broadcast. That's the part that's weird to me. I'm like,
At least
yeah,
not that we saw. I mean, it
right.
would make sense that news cameras would try and do this. Like
Sure.
they have to know where Avengers compound is and stuff, but they
That's
they never show like how people would know.
that's the part that's always still a little like we would know because we obviously watch the movies, but how do people in the
Right.
movies sure, the people in the movies would understand
Mhm.
Spider-Man, Hulk, Hawkeye,
Right.
Black Widow, maybe Black Panther,
Right.
those
But
guys.
even yeah, but it's like they know Wong. Like
Right.
Like when Shang-Chi when he sees Wong, he's like, "Hey, I'm Wong." He's like, "Yeah, I know, big fan." Like I know he saw him fight earlier in the movie,
Right.
but I'm presuming he's a big fan because everybody knows who the Avengers are. It seems like it anyway.
Right. But like yeah,
Uh,
Gamora, Drax and that's the part where I'm like, I don't know, man. That one's a little
yeah,
bit
even
more
even
weirder.
in Doctor Strange, it was weird to me like how many people just knew who Doctor Strange was.
Yep.
Like I get it. He's a weird wizard. He lives in the city, but pretty much all the shit he does is invisible to most people.
Yep.
Would you even know who this guy
Yep.
is? Like, and yet, like his other, like one of his doctor homies from the first movie is like, was it really the only way that we could have done it? Like, how are you insinuating anything about what happened on this other planet with the
Mm-hmm.
purple alien that no one was around for?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know the intimate details of this
I,
conversation they had?
yeah.
That part of it is weird to me.
I think the reason I think all right, one reason why I feel like people would be more familiar with who Doctor Strange is because essentially they haven't advertised it yet, clearly, but there is a new
Right.
set of Avengers.
Right.
If he's part of that Avengers roster, then he's going to be publicly known as a member of the Avengers. But that's it,
True.
you know.
I just I
That's
guess
really it, though. Do
they've
you know what I mean? Like knowing that intimate
right.
details on
They've
the
never
planet,
really
that's a little bit
shown
different,
us.
and that's why they haven't shown it to us. And I feel like when we'll eventually get to that stage where they'll start showing us, we're like, okay, yeah, this is more of a this more, you know, they're more well known. So yeah, that part of the con, it's weird how that part of the episode where they're at the con was more art. Like I've got more questions about that than I do about the bloody Ms. Marvel and her abilities, and it's definitely got to do with her
Even
bracelet.
even even her obsession with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was on planet for that fight for such a short amount of
Mm-hmm.
time. Uh, and like
And no one should know
the
about her,
only
by the
other
way.
experience exactly, like
Yeah.
barely anyone should have any
Yep.
glimpses of her barely. And she's got like multiple fucking like merchandise like posters of her drawn by people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I thought was weird, it was cool, but it was weird, was the her like rival chick from the school shows up dressed like Miss Marvel or
Yep.
Captain Marvel as well, but it's like the classic
Yep.
version.
Yep.
Like that doesn't even exist here. Why
Nope.
the fuck are you like I get they make like sexy Halloween costumes versions of
But
characters,
it doesn't look like
but
the
it's a
suit at
version of
all.
the character that doesn't exist. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like
Exactly.
there's no reference point, so
No.
it was strange.
And I understand it's like, oh, that's just a fun Easter egg, but it's still an Easter egg should still somewhat make sense within the universe that you're already establishing. That's all.
Right.
That is
Like
all.
it was it made less sense than even like you remember the Luke Cage one where he like stumbles into someone's backyard and needs clothes to hide himself and it's like the purple shirt
Yeah.
and fucking tiara or whatever.
Right. But that's
You're like,
funny.
"Oh,
That's more
sure,
of a
man."
funny Easter egg. Because that
Right.
just happens to be something that he found there, as opposed to like, hey, he's wearing a costume that people think Luke Cage wears. It's like, no, it's an Easter egg to his actual old costume. But he's not
Right.
gonna
Whereas
rock
in
it
this, they're making a reference to something that never showed up
in this
for a character
universe.
who's barely ever even been seen.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just very, very strange. But
Yeah. But
yeah, and her getting hit by the giant Thor
oh, she
hammer,
should
she
be
should be dead.
out.
Oh yeah, when she got hit with that thing, which was comical. I loved the
That's
shot of her getting hit.
yeah, it was great,
But then she comes down, she's just holding on to it with her
dude.
like ninja warrior grip
Yeah,
strength.
I
I'm
promise
like,
you.
this chick should have been splattered. I thought she was gonna be dead. I
Yeah,
was like, oh shit, it's
yeah.
popping off at Comic Con.
Well, even not
But
even
yeah,
not dead. Like if they're not going to go as far as to kill her, because that'd be so bizarre. But the fact
right.
that if something knocks you, I don't think I'm going to hold on. I think I'm knocked out. Like
Yeah.
I'd be on the back wall, unconscious. The fact that she was holding
Yeah,
on, like
she
you
should
just
have
said, like American Ninja
instantly.
style. I'm like, wait, what? That was
Right.
her first instinct, is to hold on to this giant thing that literally just fell on you.
Exactly.
Also, Ms. Marvel's reaction is not great.
No, she barely reacted at all.
She looked at it, called out, and then ran.
Yeah, get out of the way. And then
Yeah, and I
she
was
moved
like,
herself.
oh, I mean, sure, this is going to be a whole learning experience for her. But if you idolized
Right.
Captain Marvel and your first reaction was nothing, you're not
Yeah.
doing a great job as idolizing a character then.
I think they just had the big Thor hammer and they're like, somebody's got to get hit with this.
Had to be her. Had to be the
It had to be her.
the I guess the school bully-ish kind of. Even though she's not really a bully, I don't know. Like she threw
She's
that
not
ball
even
in her
really
face.
bully. She's just popular.
Yeah, she threw the ball in her face afterwards.
Yeah, I guess.
But it's like, I mean, it's dodgeball. You should be paying attention. Do you know what I mean? Like if they're throwing
Right.
balls, don't get
It wasn't a
distracted.
basketball.
Yeah, don't get distracted.
Yeah.
And also, it's weird dodgeball. I'm like, this is it's turning red. What is this?
I know, dude. I'm saying I think
So,
they took a
what
lot of
else?
influence.
Uh,
Um,
her ability's neat though, because
her
it's
ability is neat. I
the
saw a clip of her doing it though, where she's actually using it, and she's like jumping around, kind of like Iceman doing like the
oh yeah, yeah,
slides
yeah.
and stuff.
Like this.
And it looked strange to me because they CGI her whole body so that she can do all the movement, like do parkour on top of it. I think it's just easier to CGI
Oh
the
great,
person than to have her perform it on wires or something, I
more
guess. I
more
don't know.
rooftop parkour. Great.
Exactly. But it looked odd to me. It looked like a CG character,
Oh
but
yeah.
I have also heard from the directors that the hard light thing is not her final form for her powers, whatever that means.
Interesting. I do kind of like the colors used for the hard light because it definitely resembles more of the colors that you get from Captain Marvel, and that's why I figured, oh, it's a nice
Right.
reflection of it. I'm curious what. Yeah, I am curious what the final look's gonna be. I mean, she's gonna after
They
this, she's gonna
hinted,
appear in the Marvels. So whatever
right.
that's cool.
And we know at very least she's going to get her comic accurate suit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really curious to know what the deal is with the lineage as far as the bangle thing.
Yeah.
They're gonna at some point explain where the bracelet comes from and what's going on with her grandma. They keep talking about her grandma was a dreamer too,
Yeah.
and
I
it
wonder if
was no
she
good
was
for her.
an Inhuman. No.
I would not be surprised if it was something like that, or if it was like maybe she's Kree,
That's cool.
because
Yep.
the power bands were a Kree thing,
Mm-hmm. Either
and
way.
I don't remember. They show at some point she's got like a little symbol thing on the side of it, and I wonder if that's like one of their chest logos or something. I keep meaning to look it up.
What if in the MCU the mutant line is part Kree? Like it's where it's a human mixed with a Kree.
Well, the Krees are the ones that made the Inhumans in the books. They
Oh.
experimented on humans to make the
Okay.
Inhumans.
So this is all linking up.
So if they connect it to a Kree thing, they could still
Doing
drop in
humans.
humans at some point.
Yeah. I'm down. I'm
Um,
down with whatever. I enjoyed this first episode way
and
more than I anticipated.
and it is after them officially putting the Terrigen Mist concept into the MCU and Doctor Strange because they
Mm-hmm.
called Black Bolt the keeper of the Terrigen Mist.
Yep.
So they could introduce that now. And okay, so jumping ahead to the end of the show,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they have a. It's the first one to drop in the post credit in a minute,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense for the chick that's like a super Marvel fan. But so they brought in post credit, and they show the cop dude,
Yep.
the damage control
Yep.
guy from the Spider-Man flick.
Yep.
He's watching Kamala shoot her light powers around, and it seems like they're gonna go after her next.
Mm-hmm. That guy, man, he's got an in for anybody with abilities.
Do you think that he is a Skrull?
I reckon.
Because I feel like they gotta start giving us some people that are gonna show up in that Secret Invasion
Yeah.
show.
And I do like the idea of like not all Skrulls are gonna be, we obviously have met Skrulls that aren't bad, but that
Right.
there's gonna be bad Skrulls. just
And
as
I
just
guess
as
they
there were
haven't.
just as there
They're
were bad
saying
Kree, by the way.
that's what I'm saying. They're gonna do the the Secret Invasion show. They're not necessarily gonna be Skrulls, the ones that are hiding. They could be Kree.
Yeah.
It's just that the Skrulls have the built-in fucking like shape-shifting thing,
Yeah. Whereas the Kree don't.
whereas the Kree they have ones that are human-looking,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't like change form.
No.
So I hope it's the Skrulls. I think they're a more interesting set of
Mm-hmm.
villains, at least visually.
Yeah. Now that you've got them in
Uh,
there in the MCU, may as well use it.
and I think having one, at least one, in damage control
Would be
makes
smart.
perfect sense
Yep.
because they're collecting all the stuff that's related to the Avengers battles,
Mm-hmm.
all the like Chitauri tech, all that stuff. They're getting their hands on all that,
And
and now
then
they're going after superpowered people themselves.
And then that could eventually lead to a Super Scroll way down the road.
Oh man. Well, by the time we get to Fantastic Four, I think that's when they'll have time for the Super
Oh,
Scroll.
for sure, for sure, for sure. But
Yeah.
again, I like this show. I like it so far. One episode in, I'm
Yeah.
enjoying it. I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
It's the first one that's made me like super eager for the
Yeah,
next episode.
I didn't
And
expect
I
it from
really
this.
enjoyed Moon Knight,
Yes,
but I never felt like, oh, I have to see the next one because I don't want to wait. Whereas this one, I think just because the energy is really vibrant,
yes,
like
it's
I
a.
just like give me another one. I want to watch another one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun watch.
Mm-hmm. Like I was speaking to some guys before, and they were like, before they actually watched it, they were like, it's giving me a Disney, like a teen Disney show vibe, and I'm like, huh? Because it's the main character's a teen.
Mm,
And I'm like, oh, because it's colorful and
right,
vibrant. And I'm like, it's not filmed like any of the Disney, like like a children's Disney show though. So I don't know
right.
where you're getting the vibe, other than the fact that the main character is a girl,
I think it's just because it's a young girl.
right?
She's got that kind of quirky thing. But again, it reminds me of Turning Red, so it's
Yep.
hard to say that it doesn't have that
Oh
feel at
no, no,
all.
no
But it
doubt,
looks
no
way
doubt.
better quality than a regular Disney
That's what I
show.
mean. Like it doesn't like there's no canned laugh track.
Right, none of that.
The cameras are better
None of that.
placed. It's filmed better.
Yeah, it feels like someone attempting something as well, especially
Mm-hmm.
with all the like drawings and stuff moving through the
Yeah,
background
I
and
dig that stuff. That part's cool.
yeah, I
That
think
part's
they
cool.
they got something special with
Mm-hmm.
this one.
Hopefully they
It's
can
making me
keep on
more.
track.
Yeah, it makes me more excited for whatever they do with the Teen Hero team. If they're doing Champions or Young
Woo.
Avengers or whatever it ends up being,
Yep.
it makes me more interested to see those younger characters meet up. Now I want to see Kamala and Yelena and Spider-Man and whatever the twins are going to be. I want to see those characters starting to interact.
Nova.
Hawkeye, they got the young
Oh
Hawkeye.
yeah, Kate Bishop.
Yeah. hmm
Eventually Nova.
They
Maybe we'll see.
they even showed the Patriot kid in
Yep.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Exactly.
He didn't get any powers yet, but they at least put him on the board.
Nope. They could do so many. They could do so many. But nah,
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm down with this whole. I'm down where the MCU's going. In a month, by the
Yeah,
way,
so
we
far
got
so good.
Thor, which I ain't seen nothing yet of, and I'm keen.
Yeah, and they're putting out more and more, so definitely don't watch. Oh, speaking of trailers not to watch, and not because they're bad, don't watch the new trailer for Nope because they gave away too much of what's going on.
I planned on not
And
watching that trailer, so thank you for the heads up.
yeah, yeah, they and it looks cool still, but I would much rather not know
Hmm.
that it was gonna be about this
Okay.
before watching it.
So
So
before I see the trailer, I'd be like, nope, don't want to see that.
exactly.
Okay.
So what are the if you see a link for final trailer for Nope, do not watch it, viewers. It
Yeah.
gives away the thing. Just trust me, it looks like a good one.
But that's it for this one.
All right, and until the next one, guys, stay chipper chaps.
Stay chipper.
What up, Chip and Chap? This is Chip and Chap Chat.